What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's right. Some of the more serious Apple Intelligence features will not arrive for the next couple of years, with some of the more basic ones coming out later this month, so you can get things like the writing tools, the AI notification summaries, the cleanup tools, and others. This is super disappointing because Apple focused so much on Apple Intelligence during the iPhone event, which led many people to believe it'll be coming soon. In fact, my brother got the iPhone 16, then he called me and asked me, hey, where's all the fancy AI features? And then I had to be the bearer of bad news and tell him, oh, you don't have it yet. And believe me, many iPhone 16 owners also have that same question. Now look, Samsung isn't perfect, right? We all know this. There's no such thing as the perfect company, but when they released AI features, we got them on day one. Let's see another one. Google, also another company that is by far from perfect. But when they released the Pixel 8 series and the Pixel 9 series, we had AI from day one. In fact, what Google did is kind of genius. I mean, they have Gemini Advanced, they have Gemini, they pushed it out to all Android phones. In fact, my Xiaomi 14T Pro also has Gemini Advanced on it because, well, I have the Pixel 9, Gemini Advanced comes for free for the entire year, so why not? In fact, this phone has more AI features than my iPhone. A budget Xiaomi phone has more AI features. That's crazy. The new Siri is not even coming until sometime in 2025, which means all of us right now, all iPhone owners, are still stuck using the old Siri, the worst assistant ever. But not just that, what about iPhone's horrible voice dictation? Apple didn't even address it. Meanwhile, Pixels have had incredibly fast and accurate voice dictation for years now. So after using the iPhone 16 Pro Max, all I can say is it's the dumbest smartphone. And of course, I mean that in terms of, well, AI enhancement. Phones nowadays, hardware-wise, they don't really change all that much. There's not a lot of, you can do with a rectangular phone. The move now is just software and AI. And neither of the two Apple is really, really good at. Even iOS 18, there's a lot of just random little bugs, and it looks like it's not even Apple. It doesn't seem like software that Apple would release. There's a lot of weird overlays and things that just don't look like Apple. So I started noticing that I'm actually using the Galaxy Z Fold6 a whole lot more than I'm using my iPhone 16 Pro Max. And I mean, there's a good reason for it. The Z Fold 6 kind of does everything right, and shockingly enough, Samsung is still running deals on them. In fact, the 512GB model with some color options is even cheaper than the 256GB model. And on top of that, you can also get up to $1,200 of trade-in credit, which it's insane. It makes the Z Fold 6 such a good value. So if you guys are interested, I'll include a link down below in the video description. This phone, honestly, but believe me when I say this, by the way, I never really cared about foldable phones. I've owned every single Galaxy Fold out there, and after my review period, it felt a little... It just felt like not something that I was going to use long term. The Z Fold 6 is the first foldable phone that I kept instead of selling after my initial reviews, and it just does everything right. The cameras, for example, they are obviously really good, and people that are nitpicking over the littlest of things just have nothing better to do, because when you take a look at these pictures, you would really have to be biased towards another company to say these look bad. Most people, including myself, a person that loves cutting edge tech, will find these cameras great. I mean, they look fantastic. So what about the operating system, the heart of all phones, the heart of all electronics? It's really good. The software on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 is simply the best out of any foldable phone out there. In fact, it could even rival non-foldable phones. The amount of customization, the amount of freedom in terms of multitasking, as well as battery optimizations, it's just incredible. I've used many foldable phones before, and none of them do it just right compared to Samsung, which, if you think about it, it makes sense. Samsung has been in the foldable game since 2019, so they have software and really the hardware down to a T. But even in terms of software, the upcoming Galaxy S25 is going to completely blow iPhone out of the water because, well, Samsung has been doing AI for what, over a year now, and their upcoming S25 series, that's just going to improve on it even further. Just keep this in mind, the next generation of Samsung AI will come out before the new Siri on iPhone. That's nuts. The display on the Z Fold 6 is also incredibly impressive, and the foldable design is honestly perfect, especially when you're cooking. You can just turn the phone into its own stand and watch a podcast or movies as you're cooking. It's bright enough to see outside and gets even brighter than the iPhone 16 series, and in terms of durability, well, I've mentioned this in my previous videos. I went to the beach with this phone without a case on, sand got all over the hinge. Not a problem. You don't hear anything. There's no weird crackling issues. The phone's in fantastic shape. There was a ton of rain that came down on it as I was using GPS. The phone just didn't care. In fact, the only scuff marks that are even on the phone is when I dropped it straight onto concrete without a case. And the only mark it left, I don't even know if you guys could see that. Yeah, I don't think you can. It's like right there at the top. There's like a little scuff mark. It is honestly super hard to tell, but that's the only damage this phone got from falling from waist height out of my pocket onto concrete. Even the battery life on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Okay, look, I'll be honest. Is it as good as my iPhone 16 Pro Max? No, of course it's not. But considering that this is basically a phone, and then once you open it up, it's a tablet, the battery life on here is really solid. In fact, I feel like it got better with upgrade or with the software updates. But I think that's a placebo. All I know is I have no issues at all making it through the entire day with this phone, even while mainly using the inside display, Wi-Fi and 5G, maybe like 50-50, sometimes more Wi-Fi, sometimes less. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing that day, really. But all I can say is this phone, I mean, for a foldable phone that has, less battery capacity than a non-folding phone, and for a phone that has a much larger display than most non-folding phones, the battery life is incredible if you take all that into account. Why get a folding phone? Well, because love it or hate it, it's just simply the next evolution of mobile phones. If you want a normal phone form factor, you have it. If you want a tablet form factor, you have that too. I recently had a doctor's appointment, and we all know this, right? Whenever you make it a doctor's appointment, that's not the actual time your doctor is going to see you. No, of course not, because that would be way too awesome, right? What that usually means, a doctor's appointment, is that you come at that time and then you have to wait like 9 days in the waiting room for the doctor to actually come out and see you, right? Because hey, who cares about healthcare? But it was no issue for me. I just opened up the Galaxy Z Fold 6, put in my headphones, and watched some YouTube. Perfect. Or if I'm going on the treadmill, I don't need to bring my iPad with me to catch up on the latest shows or movies. I just opened up my Galaxy Z Fold 6, put in my headphones, get on the treadmill. That's it. I mean, that's like, those things may not seem like a whole big deal, but when you actually start using a foldable phone the way it's meant to be used, you really start to appreciate it. And then when you go back to a non-folding phone, you kind of really start to miss the whole point of the folding phone. And yeah, like I said, you have AI features that you can use right now on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Meanwhile, with the iPhone, like you've seen in the beginning of the video, some of the more serious features won't be out for a couple years. I mean, that's kind of wild if you think about it, because look, I know Apple is always late to the party. We know this. This is not a secret. This is not like fanboyism. It's just a fact. Apple is usually adding features that other phones, specifically Android phones, have had for years now. But I strongly believe being late to AI is not a good thing. Right now, a lot of tech brands, if not all of them, are in like some sort of AI space race. And the person that's been doing AI the longest, or the company that's doing AI the longest, is going to be the better company to go with. It's kind of like with everything in life. The more you do something, the better you get at it. So the sooner you start doing AI, well, the better your product is eventually going to be. So for now, the iPhone is just a good phone with good hardware, okay software, and a little bit late to the party, as usual. But if you want to try something else, honestly, now is like the best time to do so, because like I said, with the Z Fold 6, I love this phone and it has AI right get ready for from day one, right? With the Pixel and even the Xiaomi, you have AI, right? The Pixel 2, you have AI ready to use right now. You don't have to wait. You have Gemini right at your fingertips. If you're a subscriber to, I believe it's like to Google Cloud 2 terabyte version or like some other version, you have Gemini Advanced at your fingertips. You have Gemini Live right at your fingertips. You can use that right now, right this second. With iPhone, well, who knows? I love my Galaxy Z Fold6 way more than I thought I would. I thought I was gonna love it for maybe a couple months and then maybe just sell it off, but no, I'm not getting rid of this thing. Well, maybe when the Galaxy S25 Ultra comes around and I need to trade in a phone, I might be trading this phone in to get that phone, but other than that, no, this is staying with me. If you guys have the Galaxy Z Fold6, let me know your experience with it down below. In fact, if you have any phone with AI, let me know how your experience has been. Have you been enjoying the AI features? Let me know some of your favorite AI features as well. And that's it. If you guys did enjoy today's video, click that like button. And if you're new here, you like to see tech videos, tech reviews, definitely subscribe. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.